Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew Reid from Resilient Business Systems, and to my left...
Me, Adam Walker, HubSpoke Media. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. Very well.
Busy week?
Yeah.
Stupidly busy week.
Yeah. But update.
Right, what about update?
Well, I went to London, didn't I?
Oh, I went to London.
Did you? Oh, you did went to
I
London?
did go to
Whose
London.
London shall we do first?
Yours. I'm more interested in yours.
We got the job.
Way!
We got the job.
Round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. No,
Oh, well done,
delighted.
my friend.
Yeah,
Well
so
done. Well done.
all starting, all the paperwork and all.
Yeah.
All of those bits and bobs, which I'm going to come on to.
Oh,
actually
fantastic.
Later about the bits and bobs. Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs.
Yeah. Right, you're London.
Well, obviously for the podcast it's not going to work, but you saw the pictures of how much disarray it was in, and obviously it's not disarray in a bad way. It's obviously that's how things start.
This is to describe
Lane 7. Yeah,
shall I describe the picture?
yeah. Describe it. Yeah.
Essentially, fit out stage.
Yeah.
I think is appropriate.
Yeah.
Wiring everywhere.
Yeah.
For me, it actually illustrates. Do you remember I was saying you're in the walls, man?
Do you know what? That was ringing through my head when I walked in, because I was literally in the walls. Like, some of the walls weren't even there.
Yeah.
I was stepping through the walls.
Yeah, the walls haven't been built.
Yeah,
So
no,
he was literally in the walls.
Yeah, it was. It was no light in the comms room. We had to run a very, very, very long extension cable.
Did you?
Yeah, and it didn't even have electricity. You know, those like mini generators
Yeah.
that plug in. It had to do that.
Wow.
So 2 days of doing data boxes, running cables,
Yep.
punching tools as well. By the end of it, you know when you were saying, "Oh my goodness me," my fingers were just like,
Were they?
"Ow!" End of the day, cramping.
So was it cabling?
Yeah, it was all cabling we were doing. It was such an early stage, but they're trying, and I'm not allowed to say what it is, but they're trying something new on the bowling lanes, which I've seen a sneak, not a real time, like as in physical, but I've seen a sneak preview idea, written down, drawing concept. Very exciting.
That sounds amazing.
It sounds amazing.
He within the walls. Oh, look, a coffee has appeared.
Oh, how, wow,
That's
wow,
great.
wow,
Can you
wow.
reach your coffee? We're going to grab our coffee too. Thank you, Alina. Big shout out to Alina.
I'm going to come back. Oh, do you know what? When I was listening on the podcast last week,
Yep.
obviously I was looking at my phone. What I found quite clever was, as I was listening in the car, my voice was going from the left to the right speaker.
I know. Did you notice that I was actually trying to, at one point, what people, if they were listening, didn't realise is I actually tugged on your microphone lead.
Yes.
And that was because I was aware your voice was going over here looking at your phone.
Yes.
So what I was doing, I'll do it now on mine, is I was pulling the lead to make it kind of point more centrally at your voice.
Yeah, but I've learned now. I've learned.
But we're learning.
We're learning.
I'll give you- there you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
another little. It's because when we're staring at each other, I think one thing is we have it in front of us here, but then we go like this because we sit side by side.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Anyway.
so yeah.
Right, can I interject?
Go on then.
In a change to this week's scheduled program, because Adam cannot remember the last few podcasts. Last
long
week you
time
said
ago.
exactly. Last week you said that we would do AR VR and AI, and I was like, "Oh, great idea!" And then I went back upstairs to the office and I went, "Hang on, we've already done that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I discovered it last night as well,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Yep, we've already done it.
So I'm going to spring a surprise on you.
Go on then.
Okay. What I would like to do. Remember Adam's bookshop.
Yep.
Okay.
Good
Oh,
bookshop.
sorry. I'm going to divert again. How's Gary?
Mr. Gary.
Mr. Gary, our
Mr.
AI
Gary AI.
guy.
I've. Do you know what? I put our podcast on last week about the automation stuff, and we created Mr. Gary AI. And I was just listening to the start of our podcast when we talked about it last night, in fact, because I wanted to check something. Anyway, you said at the start of the podcast, we're probably going to go away with a big to-do list.
Yeah, and I think you also said that you had a long list of things to do last Friday that you didn't want to do anymore because you wanted to explore
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
automation.
Yeah, and as you know, I immediately started trying to automate things.
I knew you would.
Yeah, so and to the point where in the automation emails, and I'm still working on it. I need your help with that.
Right.
But to the point where I was writing the emails as, "Hello, this is your friendly assistant, Mr. Gary AI." It's written into the responses.
How
So
clever is that?
He has taken
Form.
Form?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say flesh.
No, but he's
he
taken
hasn't.
form.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Mr.
this is
Gary AI
amazing.
is going to exist in our business. I just need your help getting the it's the email notifications bit where I'm tripping.
I'm going to go away, and over the weekend, I'm going to create a resilient version of Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to do some automation.
Gary.
Gary. You can be Gary. I can be Gary.
Yeah, there we go. So, so we have immediately started putting Mr. Gary AI. There's more that I want to do and look at. But yeah.
It was an exciting episode last week.
It was a great episode.
I hope everybody enjoyed it. Yeah. Anyway, I diverse back to what I was diversing about. So I'm going to spring a surprise on you.
Go on then.
Through the podcast, we said, wouldn't it be great if we sort of like stood back as business owners and have a little bit of a rant? So I want to introduce this week's podcast as Ranting Special. In a nice way.
in a positive way. A positive rant. Yeah. I think because what it was, I can't remember. It must have been like the third episode we did. I think we touched on we should probably just let it out.
Yeah. So what
we're talking about here is the sort of the bit element. Everyone sees, business owner, you run the business. Yeah. I get the comment, it's nice to be your own boss. My answer is, I've got permission to work all the time.
Yeah, my answer is usually, would you like to step away before I hit you?
That's why I've never asked you that question.
That's why I never. So what I would like to do, my friend, this week is to do the business as us, maybe for the first half, as Resilient and as HubSpot, but then flip it to Andy and Adam in the Rare bookshop and the growing pains, if we can sort of like look to see how we can apply it.
I think on that, I think whatever we say about our own businesses is absolutely going to apply to any business. And although we're saying it in jest, we're not here to have a rant. And
no, God, no.
We enjoy what we do, but there are so many things that you have to do in running your business, organizing a business, delivering a business that kind of go unseen or unknown.
I think so.
And hopefully, if anyone's starting out or thinking about starting up, this will be a benefit, because actually it's a really important part of what you do in a business.
I think it will resonate with a lot of people. For those that are starting up in their new businesses, I think it's not things to watch out for, but things that you need to be aware of. And I think for people that are running their own businesses for a long time, like myself, yourself, Adam, I think they will find it resonates quite well. The one thing that I do have to ask is, have you got the bleeper button? You know, when me and you go on a rant and forget that I'm like, why that?
Oh no!
All right, okay.
Alina,
must remember, don't swear on the podcast.
Yeah, we like to keep it clean here.
Exactly.
We haven't actually agreed that, by the way.
Did we not?
Just for the record, I don't think so.
We've
never had a. There is a box that I have to tick on whether there's explicit content.
Wow! So I could swear. I could say puns,
but then I have to say yes.
All right.
Andy did a swear.
All right. Okay.
Free choice.
No, I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to
swear.
We're
not very sweary people.
We're not very sweary people at all, unless I get into business. Oh no, hang on. That's what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah. Right.
So, what's the first thing that? Well, sorry. Let me start. The first thing that I think I knew, I realised, I didn't expect it to be. How many hats do you have to wear?
I've run out.
Literally.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, yes, running your business is all encompassing, but I think if you look at, I think the easy way to look at it is you're the HR department, you're the accounts department.
Yeah.
So like finance.
Chasing credits. Yeah. Raising invoices.
Yeah. You're the business development department. You're the health and safety department.
You're the workstation application, looking after your health, like what you're saying there. But what equipment do you have to buy? Oh. You're a marketing budgeting person?
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? I think you touched on a good one there. Equipment purchasing is, I've learned how important it is. And my philosophy is buy well, buy once.
Ooh, I like that. Buy well, buy once.
Yeah. So an example, photography gear is pretty much standardized in terms of professional kit and what you need to do and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
However, that kind of limits your options. You're not going to do professional photography on a budget kit. Obviously, you can make a start. So the way I did it, because the photography gear, everything costs a fortune, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So the way I did it was got a sort of entry-level camera that is sufficient to learn my trade,
Right. Okay.
do the job, and then as I got better, generate some
Upgraded.
revenue.
Yeah.
Then you got to take the plunge to upgrade and do it. Now I looked for funding.
Did you really?
Yeah, so funding manager, funding grant person.
Yeah, I thought because I didn't.
Did you not?
No.
No.
But I'll let you go
There
first.
you
Go.
Yeah. So Tees Valley Business. So a great tip is when you're starting out in a business, look for, like for example, we're lucky in Darlington, we've got Tees Valley Combined Authority.
Yeah.
And they've got a business arm. Tees
Yes,
Valley
they
Business, do. Yeah. That often have access to funds that they can distribute
Startups,
regionally on their patch.
Doesn't Darlington Business have one as well, doesn't it? They have the big one, the people that I see.
Yeah, there are the different people like Tedco, for example.
Tedco, that's one. Yeah.
So
that's
Mark
the one I
from
was thinking of.
Tedco, great guy.
Yeah.
He was actually the one that gave me the final nudge. He was I think I touched on this before. He's at a redundancy event.
You did, yes.
And I presented my idea to him. And it was a great chat. And then at the end, it was like, so what do I do next? Kind of thing. And he's like, well, go for it. Like, what do you do? And that was when I registered company's house.
Correct. Yeah. I
So-
remember you saying, walked in the next day to your guys, told them what you were
I'm
going
a
to do.
director.
And they went,
Yeah. But as an example of that, he was a great support
Yeah.
in setting up. Didn't actually go down. There's things like they operate different funds. At the time, it was Virgin Startup. I don't know what it is right now. That's a loan
yes, of course,
that you can secure to develop business, a loan that you have to pay back. Tees Valley Business was a growth grant.
Right,
So
yes, interesting.
you buy something for £100, you then get 30% back.
That's very good.
So
So,
you got to buy it first. You got to put a bid in. You got to, there's an application process. They meet with you, all very thorough and proper. And then what you have to do is then submit bank statements, invoices,
yeah.
and all of that sort of thing to then be given the funding. But that was a massive help for me because I
Wow.
could save a third. Basically, the camera there, that was funded with that money, and a lens in my bag was funded with that money, and my laptop there was
That one there.
funded with that money as well. So
So, very interesting.
yeah, really
Really good.
helpful. Really helpful.
Right,
really
positive.
helpful. So the first one is if you are starting out, look at what's available to you regionally. There's various business incubator type things.
Yeah.
We've got Tees Valley Business, but also there's other business funding out there, and
Look,
it's
yeah,
always worth having a look.
Oh, very
But
good.
then you got to be the funding manager, and that
Yeah.
takes time because you're trying to do the work. You're then trying to write the funding application, but look at the difference it made.
No, absolutely. So I was very different because the resilience, or if you like, the IT skills, if you think about in terms of our businesses, Adam, very different. You need, obviously you do need the equipment. You do need a camera. You do
Yep.
need whatever. For me, it was the knowledge in my head. I already had a laptop.
Yes.
So really, I was like, I just need to set the company up. So long story short, I found a couple of people that wanted my skills, looking after their IT equipment. But in order to make it more official, I had to set the company up, and that's not very expensive, £13 at the time or whatever it was.
Boom,
But-
I'm a director.
Yeah, exactly. Setting myself up on the company's house, buying the company name, domain name. I needed router, and I wanted professional broadband, not just home broadband.
Yeah.
So I went to my lovely mummy and daddy, and I
you?
went, "Can I lend £250, please?"
Yeah.
Of which they did,
Yeah.
and that's how I got started.
When I first set up, my mum helped.
Oh, bless
My
her.
mum helped me get sorted, and she works in the business now.
She does.
Self-fulfilling,
Yeah,
but
very nice.
But she helped me get started, sort of thing.
But I was lucky, so I only had my skills, if you like, to go out there. But I was very lucky. I found one of my first customers, Jack, my accountant, still is my accountant. Basically looked after his computer. He passed my name on to somebody else, who then passed my name on to somebody else, and it just grew and grew from there.
Referrals are always the best form of marketing.
You
100%
literally
guaranteed.
have now. Oddly enough, I was saying to you on Monday, we met outside of work, didn't we?
We did.
Was it Monday or Wednesday? My apologies.
It was
Wednesday. We
Wednesday.
did.
Darlington Business Club.
It was very good, and you bought me a pint. Thank you.
I
Very
did buy
kindly,
him a
sir,
pint.
very
Yes,
kindly.
It was very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. So funnily enough, I was saying to you that I was going to a customer in Beedale.
You were?
That was recommended by Jack, my accountant. So 18, 19 years on, he was working with a customer, that's his customer, and they were basically going, oh my goodness me, really, really, really need some IT skills. Met her yesterday, went down to see her, lovely, lovely lady. If you are listening, probably not, but hello, Lindsay. Doing her due diligence, getting 3 particular IT companies, like you would do. I went, hey, not a problem whatsoever. But managed to see you in B-Dale, but it was really nice that on the way back, I phoned Jack, my accountant, and I went, just popped in, seen Lindsay, and we had a good chat. And I went, oh, thank you very much for passing my name on. And he was like, Andy, not a problem. You've served me for 18 years. Why would I not pass your name on? So honestly, really nice thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so going back, £250, set myself up, got my first job, and that was it. Resilient was formed. It was not called Resilience on the very first day.
Ooh,
I was called the IT doctor.
Ah.
But like anything, and I think, didn't we mention it before? Don't go ahead and buy millions and millions of pieces of stationery with your company name, because it will change.
yeah. HubSpot did. It was HubSpot Marketing.
It's now
HubSpot Media. HubSpot Marketing is still the limited company.
Yeah, exactly.
Trading as. There's a lesson. I'll come on to that.
No, definitely. So no, it's got set up, and then I think in the first couple of months it was like doesn't quite fit to what I do.
Yeah.
And me and my wife, who was helping me and wasn't working with me at the time, Michelle was literally she had her own job in the surgery in the village, but we were just doing it, and speaking to one of the friends I was doing. So what's your business called, Andy? And I basically said I was the IT doctor. By the way, I said I can't swear.
Yeah.
He just went that's.
Poo-poo.
Yeah, he basically said, that's absolute rubbish. Poo-poo. He said, what a crap name for a business. So one of those harsh reality things.
I've got my first rant coming.
Have it? Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Dear me.
Can I let loose?
You can, because
in the early days, you're figuring it out. You're figuring it out. And it's what you've got to develop is a thick skin. I think. And I know that can sound... like, that makes sense when you're running the business and you're established and you're dealing with this, that, and the other. And, there's challenges, there's things going on, late payments, all this sort of stuff going on. And the things that you don't dwell on too much are the things that go really well. So my first point is, even in the early days, you need to develop, and I learned this, a thick skin, I think.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go. So the moment you go, I'm running a business, like I said, the team thought it was hilarious that I was working with. There was no malice, and this is not directed at anybody, but I was like prepared for that because I was like, no, this is what I'm doing.
Definitely.
This is the direction I'm going in. And it is quite funny that I've paid £13 an overnight of coming as a company director.
Yeah.
Having so it's like, so what are you going to do for a job? I'm like,
I've got one.
I'm a director, sort of thing. So I was, first of all, recognize the fun in what you're doing, and in some regard, in that case, like the ridiculous, because it was ridiculous for me to take that leap. Something I'd always wanted to do, but it was the perfect reason to do it. So don't be too hard on yourself and take the light side of it.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, people that you don't know or people that you do know are very quick to they might say it with the best intentions, like, for example, the name isn't that good, but they're doing it from a place of care where they're going, oh, come on, you could be better than that.
Yeah.
Because they know that actually you could be potentially better than that. But the problem is you've sat down, you've thought about it, you've created a logo, you've bought the domain names, you've made a website. And I think the biggest thing is you've just got to kind of make... actually, this is turning into two things. You've got to make quick decisions.
Greedy.
Yes.
Okay.
You've got to make quick decisions that are based on the facts at the time.
Yeah.
Because if you're pontificating over a company name or this, that, and the other, like if I say Nike, what does the word Nike actually mean? And forget the clothing brand for a second. Nike.
Doesn't mean anything, does it?
Like, unless you know the founding story, and I don't know the founding story of Nike, it's just a word. But you wouldn't think twice about that name. But imagine if Mikey Nike, I don't know.
Where on earth did that come from?
Mikey Nike. But imagine, when he set that up, he could have walked into his old workplace and gone, I'm going to start a clothing brand. I'm going to call it Nike. And they'll be like...
They would be laughing like...
What do you mean, Nike? What is that word? Sort of thing. Like, it's not even like, we're the trainer company.
No.
It's, so what I'm trying to say with that is the kind of name almost becomes, at the start, it feels like it's absolutely everything. And then you've got to be careful on what you're calling it and make a good decision. But at some point, you've just got to make that decision. So, have you looked at the night guy?
No, I haven't.
All right.
I've looked up something else.
Okay.
Because this stuck in my head when I was thinking of changing my name.
Right. Well, I'll tell you mine, then you could tell me yours.
Yeah.
So, when I was working on Hubspoke, I was like, I really enjoy my cycling. Yeah. And I was like, right, let's have something cycling related. Okay. So I was like I was literally staring at my bike going, right, what could let's have something cool. Let's be like a
wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good marketing.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. And I think I said, so I was doing all that. And then I thought I'd come up with a good one. And my wife was like, can't call it that. Ratchet marketing. And she went, no, I'm saying ratchet, by the way.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we need to be ticking that box on the explicit content on the podcast.
Have you just called your company Mouse Poo?
Yeah, Mouse Poo Marketing. Yeah,
I think it's a great name.
Yeah, Ratchet the Tool Marketing. Yeah, so it's like, really bad marketing is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
So then I was like hub and spoke, and it's how I think as well in terms of putting marketing spokes into a business and then brings it to your business.
I think it's really good because that's one of the things that when we first met, you said there's many spokes to social media. Your business is the core, the hub, and then you go all the spokes. So actually, it fits perfectly.
And the idea is people can pay for 3 spokes, people can pay for the full wheel, wheelie good, and things like that. But I think even at hub spoke, people are going, "What's that?" What's that? Whereas now people go, "I've heard of that." Yeah. And it's because as well that the difference in the name is a case of it's different in the name. It stands out a bit and people see it and then they just start to accept it for what it is.
Well, they do. And as you were saying, Nike, Adidas, who, it doesn't relate to anything when you first...
What do you think Mr. Adidas's first name is?
Yeah. No.
We're going to have to look this up.
Mr. Addy.
Right, go on then. You've got something
So
on Google
when I was
there.
sorting out from the IT doctor, so this guy who very politely told me that my company name was Poo-poo. Myself and Michelle went away and went, well, what do we think? What do we do? And I always remember looking up this article. On July the 5th, 1994, Mr. Bezos initially incorporated the company in Washington State with the name Cadabra.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. After a few months, he changed the name to Amazon.com because a lawyer misheard its original name as Cadaver.
Oh.
But similar to what you were saying about Ratchet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but his idea was Cadabra, like abracadabra.
Yeah.
I will magic, I will do everything.
But
he changed it to Amazon. So me and Michelle were sitting down and we were like, well, what are we trying to provide a business? And it is very interesting now, sitting back, thinking about it, and obviously some of the massive experience I've gained from you, at the time, not realizing, I'm like, I don't think we should be calling ourselves what I do, like IT doctor. We should be calling ourselves something that we give the business in IT.
Yeah.
We give that business resilient business systems.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, and but back then I didn't know. I just obviously had that.
Yeah. It's like pulling on that thread. And that believe it or not, that simple reflection there, how long do you think that took you to get to that? Time?
We were probably just over dinner or something, and it was just, that's what Michelle said.
So you got there. But did it take over the whole dinner?
Oh, gosh, yeah. No, it wasn't a 5-minute decision, Adam. It was like, we were sat there and we go in it, and then we just kept on going. And, some of the ideas, probably like Ratchet, we probably came up with, that's rubbish. Yeah. We can't be doing that, like IT this or IT dot this. So, what's in a name? That is a phrase, isn't it? And,
and I think expediency on that decision, and I know we're focused very much on our startup stories there, which I think are really beneficial for people to understand because it kind of shows that Andy, stop smiling. Alina's resetting the cameras again and Andy's doing his usual smile. It's a video. Yeah. There we are. Get that on the reel. Get that. Honestly,
You showed me a sneak preview of what we did last week. It was
I did.
It was hilarious. I'm not going to spoil it, but it really made me laugh.
We said don't start a small business. Anyway, so what happened with our stories? It's important to share it because it's like especially yourself,
Yeah.
you know, how long have you been going?
18 years.
18 years.
How do I know that? Because I got
'Cause
married
you
in the
might-
same
yeah,
year. There
okay,
we go.
yeah, we covered this 2 episodes ago. I guess I've
Absolutely.
got episode memory loss, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly.
So the point being, though, is 18 years ago, you're well established as a company,
yeah.
if that makes sense, but you still had these uncertainties, these discussions. So I think the ranty bit, I suppose, is you've got to understand that whatever you decide on at any given point, you can only make the decisions that you have in what's in front of you at the time.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a realistic reason to go, yeah, it's the right thing, right decision to make. You've got to do that quickly.
Yeah, interesting, because I know we're having a rant, but if I can, I'm diversing a lot this week. One of the things is that, and actually, I tell you what, we will make it part of the ranting. What defined you or mentored you? So one of the things that I got mentored on when I first started in business, hello to Mr. Danny McDermott, or Big Fish as we know him, he always said to me, make a decision. You know, you said don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
Make a decision. People will respect you more if you make a decision. Now, if it's wrong, you've learned. If it's the right one, good on you, pat on the back. If you don't make a decision, well, you've not won or lost. So you can't learn. And I was like, do you know what? That really hits home. Yeah. So I'm very much of the ilk now. And sometimes, you know, bless, we've now got a team with us and they all sort of think. But I will always start it and go, well, okay, I think this decision. Because if we all sit there and go, you almost get that human nature thing going, I don't want to be the first one.
It's doubt as well.
Yeah.
Like doubt can creep in.
But if you make a decision, people can either shoot you down and go, no, I think it's wrong, right? Well, why is it wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're working on it. You're working with it. So that really hit home for me from Danny goes, make a decision. It's either going to be right or it's either going to be wrong. But interestingly, going back to your other point, if it's wrong, be thick-skinned about it, but haven't you learned? You've learned something. And that gives you experience.
I think it comes back to that reasoning. You're looking reasonably at the situation. What's the worst thing that can happen? What's the best thing that can happen? We never really worry about the best thing that can happen.
No.
If that makes sense. For example, my interview in London the other week, this job opportunity comes up, like contract, and I'm like, right, I will have to pay for the travel, food,
decision,
accommodation.
Decision.
To potentially not win anything.
Adam, I wouldn't do it.
Do you see what I'm getting at?
Exactly what I'm getting at. You chose to do it.
Yeah, I chose to do it, and I went, you know, I looked, what's my experience in the sector? What's, you know, our capability in terms of delivering it? Can we deliver? And that's honesty.
Workload,
Honesty with yourself, workload. What opportunities will it provide us? And what's the sort of risk, if that makes sense? And the big part was, well, you could go all the way to London, spend a couple £100 train tickets, accommodation, this, that, and the other, and you've got nothing to show for it.
Well, again, just going back to what my point there was, you have. So let's alternative universe, you lost the contract.
Yep.
Okay, you didn't get it.
Yep.
Sorry, not lost it. You didn't. You weren't successful.
You weren't successful.
Didn't get it. What did you learn?
Oh well, I could have asked for feedback.
Yeah, you could have done,
and that would have opened up the whole. This is the bits that you were missing, or didn't articulate correctly, and then that again, it's that thick skin. It's not taking that feedback personally.
No, they don't.
It's going right. Let's have a look at myself, my business, in an honest light.
Yes,
and go. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. I think I touched on it. You know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. The don't know what you don't know is the tricky one. Yeah. So feedback.
I'll tell you a little story about that shortly.
Yeah, but the feedback is always a valuable bit. So in terms of lessons learned, yes, I was prepared to do it. Yes, I thought we had a good chance. But was I equally prepared to accept defeat?
Yeah.
Standing tall.
Yeah.
You know, and graciously. Yeah, absolutely.
But you learned, didn't you? So as I say,
you do.
Interesting one. And again, we'll go on a rant on this one now because it's before I tell the story. So my rant is, you always get somebody that goes, I went with your competitor, I went with another competitor because they're cheaper. And I'm just going, cheaper's not always best.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays, and again, let me ask you an honest question. If somebody said to you, or let's say you quoted, let's go back to the rare books.
Yep.
Can you source this rare book for me? Yes, I'll do that for you, sir. Arbitrarily, that's £250. Okay, but I can get it for 225 down the road. At the time, now ask honestly, very first, within the first year of Rare Books, would you have gone, I'll do it, just to get the job?
Yeah.
I would have done as well.
Yeah.
And I did do that.
Anything. Yeah.
I would, if it had said £100, I still would have done it. But nowadays, fast forward 18 years or whatever you've done, Adam, I can get the job for HubSpot, social media marketing. I can get it for £50 cheaper. Are you going to match him?
No.
Why? Because I now know my worth. And I don't mean that in a big cocky way.
Yeah, I know. It's easy to see it as that as well.
It is easy to see it that way, Adam.
Hear that.
But I do hate it. Hate's a strong word. I do apologise. I dislike it when they go, but I can go cheaper. And I go, fine.
I don't know. Yeah. I think in terms of that, 100%, I learned lessons very quickly in terms of, what I found is, let's say, especially when you're getting busy, or you're busy, and then you end up in this game of
Thrones.
Can you knock some money off? Huh?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. You end up this Game of Thrones of pricing.
Yes, slashing people's.
Yeah, where people are slashing your prices.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. I'll do it. What I found is often the ones that have tried to challenge our pricing, and I feel we've priced sensibly.
I think we are as well.
This is the proviso. You need to price sensibly in the first place.
Yes.
What I generally find is, especially on some projects where people are trying to reduce your pricing, I often find that they take more time than the ones that are just paying the actual price. And this is going back. So like our packages are set. Like this is what it costs.
100%.
It's like, who was it? I can't remember. I don't get out of bed for whatever.
Less than
50 grand a day or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a movie, isn't it? Anyway, so like it's
Wall Street. Michael
I
Douglas
think
or
it's
something
that.
like that. Isn't it? Something like that. Lunches for wimps.
Yeah, but it's a bit like that in terms of understanding. Now, in the early days, it's all over the place. You're dealing with it all quite often yourself or a couple of you. And it's very easy to go because you're like, well, we need revenue, we need this, we need that. But I'd say word of warning, you need to assess what your package is, what you're putting into a package or a service, what the overheads are on that to service it. So for me, I look at staff time, I look at the licenses that we have to have.
Don't get on your Adobe rant horse again.
How did you know I was going to go there? Yeah.
Because every time we meet...
I love Adobe. I absolutely
You do. And
love
how
Adobe.
much does it save? And
it's incredible.
But
it is incredible, but it is expensive.
It's bloody expensive.
It is. And I know other people are using other product things and stuff, but it is a good quality software.
Yeah.
And therefore... that's what we're using. This is how we produce the results that we produce, and therefore that's why the price is what it is.
Absolutely, because you've got to cover those costs as well. Not only
100%.
is it your time, you've got to go, well, actually, my time is, and again, let's make it arbitrary for Rare Bookshop, okay? I'm at £65 an hour. I'll just throw that out there, okay? So 2 hours of your £60 an hour, because it makes it easy to
You can't add 5.
I can't add. So I'm £120.
Yeah.
But... let's say, and I know with the Rare Bookshop, it's slightly different, but, okay, I'll flip it to HubSpot. Out of your £120...
well, I can tell you my hours photography rate if you want. £85.
Well, there you go. Job done.
Right? But that doesn't include travel.
That must cover, and I'm pointing, that must cover all the things that you do. It's not just you.
Yeah.
It's the software. We're the same.
That includes the editing.
That's what I'm saying. So we're the same. The fact that, somebody said to me the other day, they asked me to jump on, and I think I touched on it last week in the mechanic episode. It took me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that, like £65 an hour.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but hang on, it only took you 5 minutes. I'm like, no, it's all up here.
Here's one for you then.
Go on.
That £85, so you might go, some people might go, right? And I used to charge less.
Yeah,
right?
I used to.
But I used to have one camera. I now turn up with 2 professional cameras with professional lenses on. And I shoot both.
Yes, you said that. Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah, I shoot both. So I can do more in an hour.
Yeah.
Unless you want me. And this is the next ranty bit, is sometimes I'll get, what's your cost per hour? Now, with the photography, it's simple. I've worked that out. But the cost per hour doesn't always work. And the reason why it doesn't always work is, let's say when I first started out and I had my other camera, I was cheaper, right? Because I was learning, I was developing my skills, I was coming on there. But I'd only turn up with one camera because that's all I had.
Yes.
But the price was cheaper.
Yeah.
But I might have to do 2 hours work or an hour and a half, and it'll probably end up back around, say, let's say it ends up back where the £85 mark is, right? But I might have been there for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it's taken me longer. It's taken the client longer because often the client it's not always a case. Sometimes it's when there's an event on, I just go and photograph the event. But sometimes these things are staged. People are taking time out of their day. So a business could be sacrificing their workflow to get some photos done. So I could go to a client and go, right, I can get, I can shoot probably 100 to 150 final images is where we'll be in 2 different formats, print and web resolution. Yeah, so you'll have them suitable for flyers and posters and suitable for use online.
Yeah.
Right? The other question is that might have took me, say to get that equivalent, it might have took me longer to get the different focal lengths and things like that. Let's say it took me 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm doing a better job. I've got better skills now. I can make decisions quickly. I know exactly the images I want. Normally I know the shots I need before I walk in. Because how many scenes have I seen? Yeah.
How many scenes have you seen?
Scene. Yeah. No, how many? Loads. In terms of, I've got a style, I've got an idea, I know where I want to place a person, an individual, a product.
Where you want to stand, you were mentioning
I know
last
my
week.
aperture settings. I don't need to test it. I don't need to mess around. I know that I can walk in a room and I'm going, right, this is 1200 ISO, or I could be going, this is 2000 ISO, or wow, it's really dark, it's 3000. Like, I know just by walking in that'll get me within plus or minus one exposure, like degree of exposure.
Yeah, but you were saying about your experience, Adam, and I think you were saying about the student bar. You walked in and you went, I know to go stand in that corner because I will get more real life-like shots.
100%.
But again, in your early days, you're going, I'll try this, no, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I'll try that, it didn't work. You would now go into a room and just go, yeah, I'll go stand over there.
Yeah, and then you go, I'm using that light that's on the wall that's going to half light that side of their face.
Correct.
And it's like, that's not even looking through a lens. I'm just like, that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I'm going to do. But that's your
100%.
experience.
Yeah. So the next ranty bit is when people try and break down, when you're quoting jobs saying, they go, right, so what's your cost per hour?
Yeah.
It's like, well, if I bring one camera, or, that's a bit, why, do you want me to bring one camera and take twice as long?
Yeah, so therefore it's double your amount.
Double, like, you kind of, I could, let's say if I did 1 hour shooting on one lens, the second hour shooting on another lens, you've done 2 hours of photography.
So that's 2 times, yeah.
Yeah. I could probably come and do that job, honestly, in about an hour.
Yeah.
Most of the time. It depends on what it is. We do 2-hour shoots and we've got rates for that. But then the second hour reduces.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm already here. I've also got to factor in journey time.
Yeah, travel
to
time.
get to the job. If it's further afield, mileage, obviously. And then editing time.
Can I set you off on another rant?
Yeah.
No company, no names. Please turn up at 10 o'clock. Because change the names to protect the innocent, but that was a good rant. And now change it to obviously this is important. You've got to factor in the time. So tell the story, but it's a rare bookshops. You're meeting your source.
I could just rant about my own. I'll get booked for photography work. Come for 10 o'clock, right?
Yes.
I'll turn up like 9:45. Cameras are out the bag, and I'm there, ready, pretty much. Or I'm knocking at the door, 10 to, ready to go. But I've already cleared memory cards. I've already put it in roughly the right settings from, say, a shoot the previous day that were wrong. I've checked it all. The batteries are charged, and I'm here. And then it's like, oh yeah, we've told everyone 10:30.
Yeah. So suddenly your hour that you've charged is now an hour and a half.
I know. And you're stood there.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing at all. No, because you can't.
You can't.
And this happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
I photographed a setting. I'll just leave it as setting. And I drove an hour.
Yeah.
Got there. The place was shut.
Wow.
I was told it would be open.
Yeah.
Photographed the outside bits that I needed. Rung the client.
Yeah.
Who wasn't the place. And they said, they said they're probably open at 5. I'm like, so that whole conversation that we had on basically, in that case, for me, it's a bad thing because the client was willing to sacrifice my time because it was basically, I had a specific, I was like, I need to travel an hour, get the photos done. I can squeeze you. It was like, can you squeeze us in? And I said, I can squeeze you in, but it needs to be this time.
This time.
The lady spoke to the people that run the show, they said, like, we'll be open at 5. I think I'd agreed to be there. I said 3:30. I was there 3:30. At no point was that flagged to me, and it was just because. Oh, and by the way, the client was on the way out the door, I think, because it was 5 o'clock sort of thing, or 4:30. They were prepared to have me stand there in an hour away to do this when I've helped them out. And this was months ago, right? Just months ago. I've helped them out, and I am stood there waiting.
I know.
Going.
Now, do you think it's fair then, when the invoice goes in, it's 3 hours? What, you said 2 hours. Okay, but you left me standing for an hour. Now, I know you wouldn't do it, Adam, because that's not your type of person. But I've heard your rant, but then, this is the thing that we need to take into account. And obviously, hopefully, our listeners are listening to this and taking this into account. So my little story is linked in some way in terms. So the names have been changed to protect the innocent. So I went to see this customer called Adam.
Hang on a minute.
He was a hub-spoke marketing company.
Wait a minute, this is not me.
No, it's not you at all. So I went to see this customer called George. Basically, he was very open, very honest with him. So very, very nice gentleman at the time. He asked me to basically quote for the IT. So we did our IT audit that we do. We looked at everything. And I was like, okay, I think to onboard you, it will take us roughly about 3 days. Okay. And he went, okay, that's fine, not a problem. So he said, look, I'll be very honest with you. He said, obviously, I can see your costs because I am very open and honest with these people. And he went, you've obviously put some fudge factor in there, the unknowns. I went, yeah. I've taken into account what I said. I'm bound to uncover something. Yeah. So I've taken that into account, which is why my 3 days. He went, great. So you've quoted for the work and you've quoted for what your class
contingency.
The contingency. But he called it the unknowns. Okay. And I was like, not a problem at all. And he went, right, so I understand all of that, but what happens if you come across an unknown? And I went, well, I know that's within my 3 days.
I don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And I went, yeah, but I've done it. I've quoted for it. And he went, no. You've quoted for the unknowns. I went, yep. What about the unknown unknowns? and do you know one of those moments?
Aren't they the same?
Went, sorry? He went, yeah, the unknown unknowns. I went, no, the unknowns are in this category here. And he went, no, the unknown unknowns. And honestly, Adam, it went on for about 10 or 15 minutes. And I went, look, I'm really sorry. I am not getting this whatsoever. It's an unknown. And he then got rather angry with me. And he basically like, look, what don't you understand? The unknown unknowns. And I'm like, let me just stop there because I can see you getting frustrated. I'm not going to get this no matter what you say to me. Shall I just go now?
Unknown defines it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say to him. He got very angry and he went, so you're leaving? You're walking away from this job? And I went, yeah, I am, because me and you, we're not seeing eye to eye. And I said, I don't believe that's a great way to start a conversation or a business relationship. So I had the gall, to walk up and say, listen, let's just stop this. I said, because it's getting us nowhere. The guy was like, by the end of it, he was like raging with me. And I'm just like, wow. All because I couldn't get his unknown unknowns.
Yeah, like the unknown section defines that bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think trying to turn it into what I'm saying to any people out there, you've got to always take into contingencies, the unknowns.
You do.
But also, you get older, you get more wiser. Actually stand your ground and go, no, the hourly rate or my 2 hours, that's it. Now, I am also very flexible, and I know you are, Adam. I turn up, quote a job for 2 hours. I run into unknowns, and it takes me 2.5 hours. I'll go, do you know what? Fine. Because I didn't know about that. Yeah. 3 hours, I would go, okay, look, I've been here an hour longer. How about we split the difference? I'll charge you 2.5 hours. And I would say 99.9% of my customers or potential will absolutely. You didn't know that, So I think that's it. But the rant, I suppose, is about the unknown unknowns. Dear me, I wonder where that gentleman ever got to. But reflecting back, would you tell our potential new business owners or even existing business owners, always have that contingency in the back of your head, but also don't bend over backwards?
Yeah, I think two things that strike me there is, yes, contingency is something I do put on some estimates. One contract I did last year was driving all over the country, photography, videography. as far north as Peterhead, north of Aberdeen, as far south as Devon.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, that was a long, and it was like numerous places.
Yeah.
Public transport was out the window because it was like zigzagging
Middle
across
of
the country.
Yeah.
And I did it in a coherent way that would kind of make sense. But I knew that trip was just going to have, especially when we're going to like the client's client
Yeah.
to do testimony.
Yeah.
I know the client is busy as well, and they know that. And the best laid plans, but we're still turning up, and that is like, no, not today. Could you come back tomorrow? And I'm like, I've come all the way from Darlington. I'm in Devon.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I'm actually due to be filming in Wales tomorrow. I'm driving to Wales tonight. So, that is what it is. But contingency was in there, and it was agreed. And I said, look, I don't want to. You're not trying to trip them up. I'm not quoting going, we will use the contingency. It's more from the experiences where you've gone, right, I've quoted this. It's took more time. And I'm now not getting paid for that time. Exactly. So, I think that's an open and honest way of dealing with it, and an accurate way of dealing with it. And the other thing is kind of links back to the people trying to pull you down on your price and you forfeiting your margin, essentially, is be prepared to just go, do you know what? I don't think we're the company for you.
As I've said before, I've walked away from some deals like I did with that deal.
So have I, in fairness. And I think that's my biggest thing. This is not a ranty... Well, actually, no, it's a rant to trust your gut.
Experience stroke.
Trust your gut.
Yeah, absolutely.
We get a gut feeling about everything. Now, I try and keep my gut feeling in check in terms of, right, this is my initial feeling, but it might be... they might have had a bad day.
Yeah.
But a bad week.
Yeah.
They might be unwell. Like when you're speaking to somebody. So I'll always temper that, and I'll always go, right, I'm just going to see how this develops and how this goes. I'm a big believer in not, I think with running your business, you've got to be a big believer in not making other people's problems your problems.
No, gosh.
You do the work. You do the work, and the problems that you deal with are the problems that you deal with. But what I mean is, if you're just being past problems that have arisen, if you're there to try and fix them, that's one thing. Yeah. You're trying to fix those problems, and that's what you're being paid for, great. But if you're not being paid to fix those problems and there's other problems going on,
don't take it on.
A prime example is marketing. We do marketing, we promote people, we do this. My first question is, what's the product or service, and are the foundations solid? So let's say I get a customer to come, are they going to have a positive experience, or are they going to have a negative experience? This is like an internal dialogue. Are they going to have a bad time, and are they going to then complain on Google or social media, and then you're going, this customer's complained? And I've had that.
Yeah.
And I said to them, well, we got them there. The customer service wasn't up to scratch, whatever it may be. It could be a restaurant, could be a whatever. So, it's really thinking about that in terms of a journey, because in terms of marketing, all we'll do is accelerate people in finding those problems.
Yeah, sadly, that's a case. Okay. I've got another rant.
Go on in.
Right. So, and you will have had this before.
Yeah.
So, assuming I'm talking to you, Adam, and we're quoting for a job.
Yes.
Okay. And you're saying to me, need this sorted 2 weeks' time. Okay? I will quote for that 2 weeks' time. And already you've fitted in, you have identified, planned in, allowed for that work is basically what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay? Because the customer said to you, I need it by next Friday or 2 Fridays. Okay?
I need it by yesterday.
Send the quote off. Yeah. So let's say we've met Monday.
I know where you're going already.
Send the quote. Quiet. Send the quote off on the Monday. Tuesday, you think, okay, he's busy, I'll let it go. Wednesday, ring up, and you'll go, hi, Adam, did you get the quote? Yeah, just haven't quite made the decision yet. Okay, we've now only got 1 week and 3 days, because it's Wednesday today. Okay, can you, and I promise I'll phone you back. Thursday comes and goes, Friday comes and goes. We're into the middle of next week, Wednesday, you get a phone call out of the blue. Hi, Adam, hi, Andy, it's Adam. Can we go ahead now? Yeah, not a problem at all. Can you still deliver it by Friday?
That's what I mean. That is inheriting. No. That's a perfect example of inheriting somebody else's Well, someone else making it your problem.
Yeah.
In terms of, I have literally got a workflow planned, and like in terms of my diary,
Yeah.
in terms of where staffing are, in terms of what projects I'm working on.
Yeah.
Calendly, I love it because it's like, there it is. If it's available, it's available. If it isn't, it isn't.
Talking of Calendly, is your wife texted or your mum texted?
I think it has, but I turned it down again.
But it's part of our show, Adam.
I know. The calendar updates.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the whole point, I agree with that, and I've had that happen.
I think everybody must have.
Yeah.
I just like, what don't you get? I cannot deliver a 2-week or a week's project in 2 days. But why? But why? And that's the bit that I also don't get. Why are you getting annoyed at me because I can't deliver in time, but you delayed it by a week and a bit?
I've had this, and I've said to them, this is why, and we can't do it. And it's like, I knew you were going to say that. You know, like, well, you didn't get back to me. You haven't given me lead time. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I'm like, because that's the fact.
Yes.
Like, so I have more time than you? I don't understand. Like, I've had, I knew you'd going to say that. I'm like, well, so I always make a point of, especially client services, need to constantly, if our job is dependent on the information that they have or they need to provide us, we need to be, I don't want to say the word harassing, we need to be forcefully reminding over and over again.
Yeah.
Especially if, because then, and I know this, and it's because I'll have to sit there at the end of the month with the data, say social media report or this, that, and the other. And I'll be like, we haven't had that video out. I'm like, because you didn't film, you told me you were going to film it and you didn't film it.
Yep.
How can I publish a video you haven't given me? And it's like, well,
Was
you
it
haven't
an unknown video?
Yeah. I wonder. And it's like I care a lot about our clients and I care a lot about what we do. And we need that information. No, but we do. But the problem is if that information isn't forthcoming, it's a specific thing for a specific task, like you're saying about this sort of situation. We're there. I mean, I'm waiting on website stuff at the moment for.
Oh, don't even get me started.
And I had an email 2 weeks ago going, I've lost a bit of paper. I'm like, all right.
Can we still go live the following week?
Yeah. So then I've sent it all through again.
Yeah.
Silence. And then I'll have an email. When are we going to get this live? And I'm like, you've given me nothing.
Nothing. How?
Zero. Like, you haven't even agreed the quote.
I know.
That's the other side of it. When are we going to have this done by? Right, but you haven't agreed the quote. You haven't actually said, yes, let's go. You haven't allowed me to put the contract in place to do that.
Interesting. Let's spin that to
I'm ranting.
You're ranting.
I'm bursting out.
But let's spin that to a positive. So what have I learned when I've done all these things? So now, when I'm quoting for a job, whether it be some IT services, project work, I have a little, underneath all of the costs, I literally, because I've learned so much, and I just put at the bottom, please be aware, the above quote and the above timings is based upon you, the customer, providing me all the information by, and I provide a date. Yeah. So when they come back to me and they say, but you said you could deliver it, I go, can you check the quotation?
I remember you did that with me.
I did.
In terms of when we migrated into Teams, you're like, I need access to all of your inboxes, emails and passwords, so I can do the migration.
Correct.
And I was like,
fair point.
There you go.
Yeah, it was good. But that's what I've learned. So if we can be, let's flip it back to Adam's Rare Bookshops. What would we tell future Adam? We would say, put these little things in place. It's not because you're being horrid. It's not because you're being cocky or that. What you're doing is you are, and I always call it transparency.
100%.
So the other thing that I say to all of my guys upstairs, and I've heard you say this, to be fair, I've heard it to say you to Alina, Chesh, and Nat when you're in there. If, let's say you're doing a job for, sourcing a rare book for somebody, and you make a mistake.
Yep.
Okay. Can I give you a 2-choice answer, Adam? Do you A, try to cover up the mistake, or B, do you be honest with the customer and tell them what you've done wrong?
100% honest.
Yeah. And again,
I did it yesterday. Something like that.
What, you cocked something up?
Well, no, just not gone to plan.
Yeah.
Because these things, equally, I think that's the thing. Things don't always go to plan.
They don't, but you've got to be honest. And I remember, 2 to 3 years in, I remember doing a job for a customer, and you're going to love this, don't laugh. I was backing up his emails.
Yeah.
Okay? Backed up all of his emails, and then wiped his emails to apply a new profile. Something went wrong, and I went, not a problem, I'll go back to the backup that I hadn't checked, and it was corrupted.
Awesome.
I lost that gentleman probably about 2 years worth of emails.
That's painful.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Now, what did I do? The first thing that I did is I rang him up and I went, this is what's happened. And he quite rightly was very, very, very annoyed at me. And he said, what can we do? And I'm like, I'm really sorry, there's nothing that I can do. All I can do is I apologize, and I can help you recover the emails in whichever way form you want. You know, you must have sent something and you got them on your phone, you know, whatever it was. Yeah. Sadly, I couldn't. But after the quite rightly having a go at me, he then went, fine, we've done it. It is what it is now, and he's still with me today.
Yep.
But because we do laugh about it. It wasn't funny at the time, I can guarantee you, but we do laugh about it. And he went, you know, one thing I do like about Andy, you were honest. You were instantly honest with me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, I made some adjustments on something yesterday going, basically, if I know for whatever reason, we're not going to be able to go and say, like filming, for example, as much as I'd love to go, right, this is the agreement to film, but if I can't physically get in for the filming and do the filming, I can't invoice them for the filming.
No.
I can't just go, you agreed this, pay me for the filming that I haven't done. I'm not going to do that.
No.
I'm not going to do that. If I'd got all the way there, I'd probably I'd reduce it. I wouldn't be like, well, I did a full day. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be charging them a full day. I'd be like, right. So I think you've got to fall on your sword when you get things wrong.
That's difficult to do as well, though, mate.
Oh, it's horrible.
Really
it's horrible to do, but you know it's the right thing.
Yeah.
And you are like, can I like negotiate this situation? And I'm like, as soon as you get into that thing with your brain, you're like, no. Honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty. And we are honest businesses. And I will always pride myself on that. I'd rather save face. And that, again, comes back to why we go, we might not be the company for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
like if you came to blows with that chap over unknown unknowns, like you say, if this is how the chat is before you've actually started doing the work.
That's why I walked away.
Yeah, and it might, and it's not a personal thing. It just might be that you're too similar in terms of outlook. Your personalities just might not work together.
It does that way.
It doesn't mean that anyone's bad or anything like that. It just is what it is. So yeah, I think being honest and open to it. But that's one of the things you got to do. And as a business owner, that it's a tough pill to swallow.
It is,
but you are better for it.
I think so.
Especially because no one ever goes out intentionally to make a mistake.
I don't know.
Nobody ever
does
goes
that.
out to do that.
Right, I'm going to have my final rant, and another one that you love, because I know you're going to smile at it. Okay. Let's assume that me and you are working for the same company.
Yep.
Okay. And me and you both get a call to go in on separate days, but this person, whoever they may be, they're looking to reduce costs.
Yep.
And they go, I never see you, Andy.
You're in the walls, man. You're in the walls.
But do you have any IT problems? Well, no, I don't hear of any, but why am I paying you every month? But that's the exact reason why you're paying me.
Yeah.
You pay me because you don't hear of any IT problems.
Yep.
So also you get called in for the following day. Why am I paying you, Adam? I see posts, but I don't get any sales. I don't get any jobs out of it. I don't get anything out of it. So my rant is that sometimes we are too good, or our listeners out there, they perform such a good job. And certainly it's odd. You've mentioned to me before about resilient, and it's like we are in the walls. And we do allow the companies to run their business. We look after IT. I actually have some customers, God bless them, I love them to bits. The fact is, Andy, I never hear from you, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because all of my people are just working. I don't hear of any grumbles or complaints. He said, that's what I pay you for. But I have had some customers like, why am I paying you? I never hear from you. I never see you. Do you get that in?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because we work with a lot of businesses that need capacity. Yeah. And we provide that capacity. Yeah. So the option, I think it also comes back to attributing the total cost. So, for example, someone could pay us to run their social media stuff, and it means they don't have to employ a full-time member of staff. So they're not paying a full-time salary.
Oddly, is that the reason why Resilient came to you?
I bet.
Yeah, but let's use that as an example. Because me and Michelle didn't have the time to do it.
We send you your social media fact finder every month.
We had a meeting about it.
And we did, yeah.
It was great.
Great meeting. And we catch up about you don't always fill it out. Michelle quite often has filled it out. Sometimes it's like things have got away, trips to London, but that we're not then chasing you and hammering you with it.
Yeah.
It's there, it's there, and we can.
By the way, the scaredy IT cushion photograph.
Oh yeah,
got a lot of responses.
Halloween. Yeah, the Halloween cushion. I put the photo out yesterday, and it's this what Andy was hugging on Halloween. But there's an example. You're an IT company, and it's a photograph of you hugging a cushion.
I know. So where does that even relate to?
Exactly, right? But I guarantee that's not where you will have gotten as a company if you weren't working with us.
No.
Until we'd pulled on the thread and started doing
definitely.
that. So so you're not paying a full-time marketing person, you're saving money, and you're going, where's our thing? But then equally, we put a picture of you holding a Halloween cushion, and everyone's like, great. And we said, what's your favourite spooky movie? You had all sorts.
And we had loads of interaction from our
exactly.
It was lovely.
It's like, it's like presence of mind. It's like profile. It's also, the other thing that we have is we often get this whole social media hasn't converted. I'm like, no. Someone doesn't look at one tweet.
No. Sale.
X. Is it, what do you call a tweet? What do you call a tweet now?
You don't. Do you know what I find really odd? I don't. Do you know what I find really odd is every single time I read an article, the BBC, ITV, social media, Adam Walker tweeted on, he tweeted on X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah. I'm like, what's the point of saying X, formerly known as Twitter?
I know.
Because nobody knows. If somebody says, tweeted on X, X what?
X what, yeah. There'll be a plan. Well, they'll have brand guidelines that I'm sure will still have formally.
Yeah. So back to the rant then. As I say, I do find it. Now, what word would you use? It's annoying to me because
false economy.
Yeah, it is because we were
chatting. I'm like, if we weren't doing this, some clients, if we weren't doing it, take yourselves, if we weren't doing it, you're all busy. You're all busy, doing the IT stuff. Your social media will just drop down, and it's about being part of the piece. I think the issue we have with social media is it is just a small part of marketing.
Oh gosh,
that's why we like to work across all areas of marketing, ideally. And we do other things with you, and that's why we want to do it. So I totally get that. And part of my argument is you would have to employ someone full time, probably. You could have them part time. You could outsource it to someone remote who doesn't know anything about your business, and you get these very vanilla, generic posts, potentially. Or you might find the right person who's in the right place, and you might do that. But it's a roll of the dice. I think I've got one last rant.
Oh, sorry, I've got one last rant for you.
Have you?
No, not for me, because it was on Wednesday when you were meeting about it. You were saying to me, the rant was, you never have time to do the things that you want. You're always doing the customers. You know that saying is like a plumber's house is never done. Yeah. So you were saying, so what was your rant about? You never get the time to do the things you want because you're too busy doing it for the customer.
Yeah. It kind of comes back to the automation episode, doesn't it? Yeah. So obviously customers are our absolute focus and priority.
They have to be.
But the business development side, and this is as a business owner, in fact, I've had this conversation with a few people this week. I'm like, we absolutely need to deliver on what we've been agreed to deliver on. We absolutely need to do that. My role as a business owner, though, as well, is I need to run, what have I done? I've run payroll this week.
Yeah. Michelle has, because it's
so I ran payroll.
Debtors list.
Start. That's gone out. But before that, I had to submit the payroll to the accountant. So I had to sign off the payroll to the accountant. So I'll have my pay bill coming in.
You will have.
Where I'll have to pay HMRC their monies for the wages. I've got all of that and bookkeeping paperwork to come in. Yeah,
so I was saying, Michelle says I'm running off the debtors list, I'm running off whatever, what I owe suppliers, what customers owe me.
So that's just doing the work. Yeah. What you're not doing is developing the business, trying to find more, which is the key point why this came about, is I was sat there at Darlington Business Club on an evening.
Yeah.
But it's important to get out there and get people to know you. I am not going around handing out business cards as soon as I meet. In fact, I think I handed out one.
I handed out none.
That was to help somebody who had some information about something. I was like, I have a network where we could share that. Please send it to me.
Very good.
No want for me. Just, sounds great. Send that to me and I'll share that because actually that could be of value to some people.
Yeah.
And then, we're signed up to the Chamber of Commerce now.
Very good.
So we're going down there next week. Looking forward to that. but like it's important to get out and do that, make time to do that. The problem is when you're doing all the doing, whether it's customer work or your housekeeping for the business, that takes away from the business development time and what you can do in there. And it's a really fine juggling act. What we're talking about in terms of bookkeeping and paperwork, late payments. Not you.
All right, okay.
Not you. And actually, I think I owe you a payment for last
You do.
month.
You
So-
do. Funnily enough, what's the one thing that was like, right, Michelle, I'm off. She said, are you going to do your podcast with Adam today? I said, yeah, as normal.
Get him to pay his invoice.
Yeah, she said, just gentle reminder.
I need to set that up as a standing. It's because it's just changed. I apologise. I'm my worst one.
Yeah.
But
Do you know halfway through this podcast, though, because you haven't paid me, I'm going to pull the plug. And unexpected.
Are you? Oh, well done.
You like
He's gone
that?
silent.
Yeah.
No,
So what
but
was your other rant?
it's invoicing and payments, and I think that, that comes back to, especially there's an example there. I need to sort out your payment for last month. Apart from that, we're all up to date.
100% you are.
Apart from that, but that's on my list. But
Get Gary to do it.
It's really hard. Do you know what? Yeah, I'd love to get Gary. I'm going to set up Gary actually to sort it out. Now that I know they've fixed, because I know the team's license has changed. Then I took on extra. Then I took another step into the physical license because it was web only. Yeah, there's changes. But yeah, that's the key thing. One client who worked with 22 days late on average. Worked with him for 3 years.
Just 22 days.
And I'm like,
but what doesn't
late.
get?
That's late.
What don't they get?
I'm like, please set up a standing order.
I know, it's not difficult. It's not
Please
difficult.
set up a standing order.
So, can I come back to your original point? Must be great to be a business owner.
It is. It is. Do you know what? I know. I was walking in this morning. I was coming up the stairs, and I'm like, I knew we were going to talk about being a business owner and this, that, and the other. I was like coming in, going, wow. I mean, when I started on this journey of setting up a business, I think part of the thing for me is when I set up the business, you're like, I'm a director, and it's like, ha, 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 ha. And we're all finding it very funny. I was finding it funny too. And then you set up a thing. I remember opening my laptop. It was 3rd of September, I think it was, when my redundancy finished. Sat at the kitchen table in my house, opened the laptop, and I'd already been like creating stuff on a weekend and things like that to set all up. But it was like the first day out of work and in my business, and I opened the laptop. And I was like, now what? It was like it'd been building up to that moment for months.
Literally, what am I doing?
And then I went, no one's going to find me here at my kitchen. I'm sat at my kitchen table and the entire world is out there. And I remember feeling that, oh my God, what have I done? Kind of situation going on. But then you know, steadily, you sort of find your way. Our first year, that's the other thing. Don't rush. You don't have to rush.
Do
first
not
year
rush
we
at
did
all.
$3,500 turnover, and that's because I was working part time as well because I had a young family arrive, so I was doing some. You know, I was very fortunate to have some part time work
It's
as well.
not all about the profit. It's not all about whatever.
Yeah.
You know, first year, I think I just about managed to break even with all the stuff. But it's not about that. And I say to that, funnily enough, that's again another synergy that we have together. When I say to my customers, this lovely lady in Beedale, I went, look, if we are successful in doing this, I said, what we need to agree is this is a journey.
Yep.
We're going to get there together. We're going to help your business become more profitable at the end of the day, but we're going to make you more automated. We're going to give you that security, that peace of mind that your IT is there.
Yeah.
And you said that to me. Andy, when you sign up for this social media, do not expect next week to have 50 gazillion tweet follows. It's not like that.
Yeah.
We've noticed a steady, gradual incline, and it's about that journey. Anybody out there that's setting the business up, if you're sat there at the end of the month going, just about broke even, so be it.
The thing is,
Keep going.
What you hear about very easily on social media. Social media is a highlight reel. You'll hear about the ones where I set up a business and now I'm turning over 3 figures a month and blah, blah, blah. Come on.
Yeah.
We would all be running businesses if it was like,
If it
I
was
don't
that easy.
disagree that they exist. I don't disagree
There'll be
that they
some
happen.
people that are entrepreneurial that have done it, which great credit to them,
Yeah.
but it's not the norm.
No, it's not the norm. And I think, you know, you've got to, be kind to yourself, self-care.
Yeah.
Look after yourself. Make sure that you're happy with what you're doing and how you're doing it. B, make those decisions really quickly in terms of what you want to do based on the facts that you have in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we were talking about router, I'm seeing my router up there. I was like, Andy, I need a router. I need guest Wi-Fi. I knew what I needed.
Yeah.
And you went, I recommend this and it was nearly £300, wasn't it?
But it well was.
Yeah. It was nearly £300, and I'm like, right. I'm not sat there going, what return on investment am I going to get on a £300 router? No. But I know that I'm getting security coming in from online. I know that I'm getting guest Wi-Fi. I know that I can have VLANs and separate networks. I know that it's robust.
It is. It's
right?
got DDoS attack filter. It's got firewall. It's got everything. That's why I recommend it.
So therefore, I was like, done.
Yeah.
Didn't need to be longer than that. Didn't need to go and look at other routers. What about this one, Andy? What about this one, Andy? And I bet you have that.
All the time. I can get this computer £5 cheaper. Go and get it £5 cheaper.
Because actually, as part of that £300 in getting the router, I haven't had to sort it. You sorted it out. You set it up. And I said to you, what router should we get? And you went, this one. I didn't have to look.
No.
I didn't have to look at specifications. I didn't have to learn about various things.
Nope.
So the decision there, I'm like, that's what you're getting. That's what you're paying for.
Wow.
I feel better.
I feel better for that. Huge.
Yeah, don't think that running a business is easy, and don't think that running a business is too hard either. I think it's a balancing act. It's about setting the right tone for your business and what you want to do. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree. And before we wrap up, would you do it all again?
Absolutely.
Yes, I bloody well would.
In fact, I've set up another one.
No.
DJing.
Oh, yes, you have.
Sole
Mr.
trader.
DJ.
Sole trader.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. 100%.
So based upon everything you've learned through HubSpot, all of the pain and the experience, you went and did it again.
Yeah. I've got separate accounts, separate insurances, separate bookkeeping. So, yeah. Yeah.
And can I just say, well done, but what a buzz do we get?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
It's great. It's hard. It's hard.
I don't disagree it's hard, but somebody said to me the other day, because you know me, I'm an early riser, I'm up out the door, I'm like, snap, I'm up, it's 5 o'clock, right, I'm up. I get it. People are like, oh my God, how do you get up that early? How do you trudge yourself into work? And I'm like, because I bloody well enjoy it.
I think a good question to ask yourself, I remember this from school, that Sunday night feeling. Have you ever had that? Yeah. I don't have that.
I don't have that neither. I look forward to it.
No, I don't have that Sunday night feeling. So I know that if I've got the absence of that Sunday night feeling, I know that I'm onto something.
As I say, mate, I think you've summed it up lovely. It's hard work. It's damn hard work. But me and you know that when something happens, when I see the social media, when we're doing some of the interactions with social media, and I get people interacting, my customers, my friends, I get that. Do you know what? That was worth it.
Yeah.
It was hard bloody work, but it's worth it. You do the same. You look around and, like, again, let me ask you honestly, any IT issues?
No, zero IT issues.
But that's what I'm saying. So you could go, Andy, why am I paying you? But that's the buzz that I get by going, do you know what? Actually, you don't pay me.
I will today.
All right, okay. Michelle, he will pay us. I promise you, Michelle, he will pay us.
I think it's still within the thing, isn't it? I need to look.
Hey, it's 22 days on average.
You'll have the payment today.
Okay. Excuse me, but yeah, what I'm saying is I wouldn't get out of bed if I didn't enjoy it. And it's 18 years, and I absolutely love it. I really am. The business, the growth, and yeah, there's some disappointments, and yeah, there's some things I don't like doing, like ringing up the guy who said I've lost all your emails. But I tell you what, have I blinking well learned from that? Yes, I have.
Have you done it again?
No. Anyway, my friend, what's up for the weekend?
DJing tonight. DJing tomorrow night.
Now, is
2
your
nights.
Am I allowed to say the? I'll say it off. I can't say it off camera.
Yeah, you can say
I can.
Mixcloud.
Okay, fine. Just in case.
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
you be live on Mixcloud?
Will I be live on
tonight?
Mixcloud? I might not be because I'm at it's 21st party tonight.
20. You're not 21.
No, I'm not. No, I'm delivering it for somebody.
Right, okay.
So
Right,
I need to figure out. But
I was
but
travelling
there's
with
an example. That's 7 till 12 tonight. So I'm going to be out late.
Yeah.
But
It was good.
am I trudging? No.
No, you're enjoying it.
Look
So
forward to
last week, Friday, I was on the train listening to your Mixcloud live DJ.
So on that, let's Mixcloud, DJ Adam Walker. I have started going live. Basically, reconvened my OBS software, which is live streaming stuff.
Yeah, no.
The visuals have changed.
Oh, I think.
Oh, I've leveled up. Yeah. So yeah,
do it again?
I started live. I've started live streaming.
I enjoyed it. I really did. Sadly, the train Wi-Fi got up, but I was interacting with you.
You were.
You
I
were
had
saying-
fire
I know.
emojis.
Yeah, exactly. The fire emojis. I thought it was good.
Yeah. So I've been doing that, and again, do you know when talking about developing time on the business?
Yeah.
All of that stuff I can actually directly relate to what we do because I can hook up these, and I've live streamed weddings during COVID and things like this. I've live streamed events. I've live streamed all sorts of stuff. So for me, doing that, it's a good little sort of. It satisfies both sides.
It does.
Because I've got Houses of Feeling coming up on the 25th of November in Middlesbrough.
And give the people out there, who are you with?
Sarasota, I think it's pronounced.
I think it's pronounced that.
Yeah, and Piano Man, who was on Top of the Pops.
Absolutely. I can't believe that. That's
No,
really
it's going to be
huge.
great. I'm really looking forward to it. There's a load of other great DJs as well. There's Bradley Bain. And Ian Groom has just won a competition to be on the lineup as well.
Wow.
So,
that
yeah,
is good.
it's my first festival thing.
Yeah, but it's going to be good. But I
can't wait.
Genuinely, I loved it. I was saying to you, the fact that you started off with a couple of like really good beaty tracks, but then you went, he's me, old school. But yeah, you know what I mean?
Basically, I knew Andy was listening, so I started playing some 90s classics.
And they were classics. I was like, oh, get in.
Yeah, dance tunes.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
That's good.
No,
Good for
so
you.
I'm doing that. I'm also playing rugby tomorrow.
Got fun-packed weekend for you.
I know. I just
Absolutely.
always worry when I'm doing rugby and then DJing because it's like I've got to get all the kit out and
then
you're sore and you're aching and all of this. But I do you know what? I love it all.
Yeah, good for you.
I love it all. So yeah, you
Sweet bugger all.
sweet poo. Right, fair enough. Enjoy.
So yeah, it was literally a long weekend last week. So this
Yeah,
weekend,
of course.
I think,
No, I made the most.
I think a bit of a break, a bit of a deserved rest.
Yes.
So you're literally doing nothing, and potentially a bit of nothing.
I have got a question for you actually before we go. A complete left field to the podcast.
Uh-oh.
I've been playing lots of chess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loving
Love
it.
chess.
Self-development, I think.
Yeah.
Someone said if you're good at chess, you're good at life, I believe. So I'm like, I don't know who it was, but I'm like, that sounds good. If I'm good at chess, yeah, that makes it, because it is a bit like that.
It is, isn't it? You know, you've got to do strategy, bit of working out.
Basically, my kids were interested in it, started playing a bit with them, and then chess.com got on there, and do you know what? I'm really enjoying it.
You're really into
very
it.
mindful.
It is,
Very
isn't it?
mindful. We should have a game.
We should have a game.
I bet
aren't
you're
we?
good at chess.
Yeah. Learned chess when I was very, very, very young.
But I think most people did.
Yeah.
But I blame the Queen's Gambit.
Do you really?
Yeah, because I watched that again. It was brilliant. And then at the same time, my child started getting interested in it, and they both do a little bit, and you play with them. Of course you do. And then it was getting to the point where I was like, right, I'll let him take this piece, and then I'll drive it home, and I'll take the win. And I'll let him take the piece, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, he's covered me. Oh my word! And I was like, okay, I'm being beaten by my 8-year-old. So,
But Adam, that's where you go, Mammy, your mammy, quickly change all the pieces around.
yeah. So, but that's kind of reinvigorated that, because I used to go to chess club at school for the early lunch pass.
Well done. No, I never did that. But yeah,
That was the
chess,
hack. Early
chess,
lunch pass.
backgammon, and what was the other one I used to do? It was 3 that I used to do. The mastermind game with the little pegs.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
never got away with that
Never
one.
got away with that one. No.
Awesome. Well, enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend.
That's episode 10.
Yeah. Let's not tell the listeners, what next episode's going to be, because otherwise we get it wrong.
100%.
Yeah,
But you
let's
will have a paid invoice.
By that time, and it says, I think next episode is late pays.
Late pays. Yeah. It's the thing I hate the most, Adam, your invoice is like, oh.
Exactly. Okay, everybody have a lovely weekend.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.